Hi guys, my name is Luke from America, and in this video we're going to be talking about and practicing English listening skills. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you can see when new videos come out. Also, check out my other videos, and if you really like my videos, check out my courses. They're full courses in the link in the description. All right, let's get started. If you want to be a really good English listener, you have to really sharpen your ear. That means you have to be able to hear sounds clearly and then change those sounds into words in your head. I know that sounds obvious, but if you, for example, studied English in school, most of your knowledge of words has come through your eyeballs. Okay? That might mean you're pretty good at reading. Unfortunately, learning words is not enough. If you've spent a long time reading and that's how you learned and you didn't hear much, that means that you're probably not able to hear English very well. You're probably not able to catch the words when two people, maybe native speakers, are having a natural conversation. Just as if I couldn't see and I were trying to read Braille with my finger, I wouldn't be able to understand it until I practiced it a lot and sharpened my fingers. Okay, so the senses are different and each one needs to be practiced and sharpened individually. I know that's not good news, but it's true. It's true. So we'll practice that today. What we're going to do is I'm going to read something very quickly, okay? And I expect that you're not going to understand all of it. There will be some, I think, new words for you. Now, if you're a very high-level English listener, then good for you. You may not need this video. But if you're not able to understand everything I say the first time, don't feel sad. I'm saying it very quickly, very natively, so that you can't understand. Then I'm going to go through it again more slowly, and we're going to talk about what it means, what each part means generally, and then I'm going to read it again quickly. And I think what you will see is something very interesting, actually. Once you've heard something and understood it, and you know what each piece is, then hearing it again quickly will allow you to have much sharper listening. Okay, so let's first read it quickly and then we'll do it again. Okay, here we go. The way people see themselves generally depends on how they feel others see them. What that means is we see ourselves through the eyes of those around us. Perhaps doing this is merely human nature, but from my perspective, discovering your actual value in and of itself without regard for the opinions of others can be an absolutely life-changing exercise. How was that? Now that was pretty fast. That's actually a little faster than I would normally read, but not that much faster. So let's go through it slowly, talk about what it means kind of, and then I'll read it once more and we'll see if your retention or ability to understand goes up. The way people see themselves. The way people see themselves. Your view of you. Right? What is your opinion about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? The way people see themselves. That's what that means. People's opinions about themselves. Generally means usually, in most cases, depends on how they feel others see them. If something depends on something, that means it might change because of another thing. For example, whatever I do tomorrow will depend on the weather. If it's raining tomorrow, I will stay in. If it's sunny tomorrow, I might go to the park. My actions depend on the weather, okay? But maybe how we feel about ourselves, how people feel about themselves, generally depends on how they feel others see them. So basically, my action will change depending on my opinion about your opinion about me. not your real opinion, just my opinion about your opinion. So, I'll read that sentence. The way people see themselves generally depends on how they feel others see them. Hopefully that's clear. What that means is we see ourselves through the eyes of those around us. So it's almost like who I am is not just what I think I am, but in fact it's what my opinion is about your opinion about me, or it's like I'm looking through the eyes of those around us. That doesn't mean the real eyes. That really just means the view, the opinion of those around us. We often say, can you see it through my eyes? Look at it through my eyes. Look at it from my point of view. Look at it from my perspective. It's all kind of the same thing. So these two are actually saying the same thing, okay? Next, perhaps doing this is merely human nature. Human nature is what we will do always automatically without thinking. That is human nature. We're not trying to change ourselves. We say it's human nature. It's human nature to be jealous sometimes. It's human nature to be compassionate and caring sometimes. It's human nature to cry when we see something sad. Okay? So perhaps doing this is merely. Now merely means only. So it's basically saying it's just that. It's only that. Only human nature. Maybe, perhaps, maybe and perhaps are the same. Perhaps doing this is merely human nature. But from my perspective, perspective is the same as saying my view, my point of view, my opinion, through my eyes, I guess you could say. But from my perspective, discovering your actual value in and of itself, discovering means finding, uncovering that. Your actual value. Actual means real. Your real value, your true value. What does that mean? That means your value just because you are you, not your value through the eyes of other people, in the opinions of other people. Okay? Discovering your actual value in and of itself, in and of itself, in and of itself, in and of itself, in and of itself. In and of itself means without considering anything around it. What is your value? Just you, not thinking about the world or what other people think or how much money you have, just you. What's your value? It's a common phrase when we want to talk about something without anything around it. This value, in and of itself. We often say it very quickly. Without regard for the opinions of others can be an absolutely life-changing exercise. Without regard for the opinions of others means we don't care. If you have no regard for the opinions of others, without regard for the opinions of others means, I don't care. I don't care what other people think, okay? Without regard for the opinions of others, without regard for the opinions of others, can you hear each word now that you generally know what it means? Can be an absolutely life-changing exercise. Absolutely is like saying completely. Sometimes it's used to say very much, okay? Life-changing exercise. An exercise or a practice or something that you can do, exercise, which can change your life, okay? So I'll read that one more time. Perhaps doing this is merely human nature, but from my perspective, discovering your actual value in and of itself, without regard for the opinions of others, can be an absolute. Can you hear more? Can you hear it more clearly? Hopefully now, if you understood 30% the first time, now you will understand 60%. If you understood 60%, maybe now you will understand 80%, okay? The idea here is once you know what is being said, you can actually understand through your ears which means that it is not your ears, it is your ability to pick out sounds and connect those. That is the thing that you need to practice. TED is a great resource because most TED Talks on TED.com have all of the text, the transcript underneath. And if you really study it, you read it first and then you listen, you might find that your comprehension, your ability to understand by listening is higher. Okay? So let's try it one more time. Again, I'm not going to show you the text, just listen. Here we go. The way people see themselves generally depends on how they feel others see them. What that means is we see ourselves through the eyes of those around us. Perhaps doing this is merely human nature, but from my perspective, discovering your actual value in and of itself, without regard for the opinions of others, can be an absolutely life-changing exercise. Practice in this way to sharpen your listening. First, watch a video, for example, a TED Talk, then read the transcript, then watch it again. And when you're watching it, don't read the words on the screen because that will help you sharpen your ear. Wouldn't it be great if you didn't care whether you were hearing something or reading it? Wouldn't that be awesome? Yes, of course. Practice this again and again, and you will get better. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, also push the bell beside the subscribe button so you can see my future videos. Also, if you really enjoy this video and you want to practice more, check out my courses in the link in the description. And I will see you next time.